Oh, I need to do that. And then I can do that. Yeah, okay. Now that's working. Where is my... I need that. Copy. And a paste. And a paste.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, I waited a minute because Ian was still live, so...
Fair.
And he did his thing wherever you post a video, and that's like kind of a sign that the end is near. And yep, I was worried about that.
I don't have earbuds charged, so today is going to be an echo day for me. Have fun with that.
No. That's all good. How's your day been? How's your week been?
Week?
Yeah,
I told you I got into a car accident on Tuesday, right?
But your car's fine mostly, right?
Yeah, I'm in my car right now. It's running. It's keeping me warm. I managed to just hit like the corners, a couple corners of my car. I might need a new taillight and then just a little bit of cosmetic work. That's it. So I'm lucky because it was on the highway. But centrist, hello. Also, I found that name interesting. Because I wonder if you mean centrist for like what would be center in the Overton window in America, or what would be considered center elsewhere. And then what's the rest of my week? Okay, so yesterday I was supposed to work, and I ended up starting late because my mom was able to watch the monitor, so I could go to a movie with a friend. And that was fun. It was the new Markiplier horror movie, so
am I muted?
Fun.
Hey, hold on a second.
Not now. Not now. Not now.
Oh. Testing.
That's brutal.
Oh, don't speak. Don't speak for a second. Testing. Why is my mic not outputting to stream?
I hear you. I don't
know. Don't
other
speak.
platforms.
What is properties? Oh, I think I know what's going on. Settings. Can you hear me now? Yeah, there we go. Okay. I know what was going on. Thanks, Allie.
Okay.
The my I blame Lego Loco. I blame a 27-year-old Lego game. I pulled my mic off of track 1 for so I could have the audio and my mic separated. And yeah, that would do that. So glad I got caught before like I was an hour in. Yeah, it wasn't on
Oh, sorry.
Oh. Yeah, it wasn't on what is it? The it wasn't on TikTok that was the problem. It was on Twitch.
Oh, I see. Also, even if you're just wanting to chill in the comments, that's fine. But if you enjoy this discussion, please like the live, share the live, comment on the live as you are. And request up if you are opposition, and then we can keep these conversations going.
He's solid.
Hello, man.
Hellos.
Hola.
¿Cómo está?
Meh.
Ah,
That's how I feel today. That's just the vibes for today.
comme ci, comme ça.
Fair.
It's about the link, what is it, the extent of, Spanish that I know. And thanks everybody for the heart knees and stuff. EBs.
I've reached level 17 in your fan club.
Solid Snake Kitty, your usernames. Yeah, their username is pretty peak.
I know, right? See, if you get the reference, it's goated.
Now I feel out of the loop.
So Solid Snake is a character in Metal Gear Solid, the video game series.
Oh.
So he's a Solid Snake Kitty, and he has like eye patch because Solid Snake has an eye patch.
Actually,
Cute.
technically that's
I love
Naked
it.
Snake. Technically that's Naked Snake, but when I originally tried to do that, it banned me from doing it as the username, but it let me use it as the account base name. So I have it as my tag, but
I
not my
noticed it.
username.
It's pretty funny to me. I noticed that the other day.
Yeah, it's always been like that. Well, on this account, on my other account, it wasn't, but that account got bananaed, so.
Whoa, where'd Snake go?
Raptured.
We do have somebody else requesting, though.
Sure, that's just not Solid. Oh, no, it's not. Hey, Clippy, can I get age and pronouns, please?
Hello, I'm 33 and pronouns I say and him.
What's your thoughts on the prompt?
My thoughts on the prompt are the fact that if you're born with a tallywhacker and you transition into a woman, what do they put the tallywhacker?
Do you think
They
that
roll it
trans
in?
means transition? I know you're low-key trolling, but, like, do you think that trans means transition?
That's what trans is. That's what trans is.
No, actually, fun fact. So trans and cis are both Latin prefixes. So you'd have to argue with the Romans if you think they're a problem. And the terms cisgender and transgender. So when we say trans and cis in this conversation, we're shortening it from transgender and cisgender to trans and cis. That's describing your relation between your sex and your gender. So if they don't align, then you would be transgender. And if they do align, then you would be cisgender.
I understand that. I believe that if you are what you are, you don't have to label it anything. You just are who you are. If you are a woman, you are a woman. You don't need an extra label. You don't even need to say you're a woman.
Do you think that trans women don't think they're women prior to coming out, or do you think they know that?
You don't even need to identify. You don't even need to identify as anything.
You actually
You're
do.
human. No, identity is the imprisonment that we are living in of social construction.
So you're just
We
a
must
gender
destruct.
abolitionist? You don't want gender at all? Because it is all an entirely social construct.
Identity is imprisonment. We must abolish all of identity.
So you are a
order
gender
to-
abolitionist, it sounds like.
I don't even believe in gender.
Okay,
don't
I
believe
mean,
in either.
at that point, honestly,
Plant-based?
I personally, don't have any qualms. is what I was about to say. If you're a gender abolitionist, which sounds like what you're describing, if you don't believe that gender is a thing or should be a thing, the not based part of it is that you said it is, you don't even think it is a thing. Well, it definitely is, and science can back this up. We definitely have a lot of evidence to show that gender definitely is a construct that we're living under right now. And even if we want to get to the point where gender doesn't exist, we're starting here where it does.
I don't
So these
believe in
people do
classism.
need
I don't
to
believe
affirm
in
themselves. And I'm
segregating
finishing
people
speaking
into.
really quickly. I'm finishing speaking. Thank you,
I'm
Clippy.
a trans woman as well.
Clippy, I'm finishing speaking. Thank you. So, these, God damn it. See, now I'm forgetting what I was saying.
But I am also cis because I am neither. This is the
Being
nuance you
neither
have to
would not be
grasp.
being cis. If you're not a man and you're not a woman, you're non-binary. Or a gender
No,
abolitionist.
I do not believe in label. I do not believe in it.
I mean, if
Why
you
would
want to
why must
make
you label me?
active...
Are you racist?
Clippy, I hear that you don't believe it, but it
Are you
really
racist?
is, Clippy. It really is something that exists right now. And if you want to take steps in order to abolish it, I encourage you to do so.
I'm going
I
to
think that's
ban
great.
all of gender of all kind because it is a enslavement of the mind in the body, and you must break free, my friend. You must break free from
So you use they them pronouns then? Or
no, say and men. Those
okay.
are my pronouns, but I do not believe in it.
So
I'm
are
trying
those
to extend an olive branch.
Yeah,
you
I
will.
mean, I totally hear you on that too. Are those pronouns like neopronouns that are gender neutral where you come from, or are they still gendered?
They are gender fluid.
They're gender fluid.
Gender fluid, almost like liquid.
Well, that is what fluid means. Okay. So
It's on the verge of being an atmosphere.
at that point, if it's gender neutrals or gender fluid and your understanding of that meaning and stuff, then honestly we don't necessarily disagree.
No, I disagree that if you support transgender, you are supporting the I apologize. The entrapment of one's mind because of labels, creating these boundaries that do not need to exist.
Yeah, I agree that they do not need to exist, but the thing I'm hoping that you'll understand when you leave this conversation is that whether or not we want them to exist, and whether or not they need to exist, they in fact do currently exist across the world right now in different ways, depending on where you're located. So we have to treat it as such. What was that?
My parents are from Pakistan, but I was born in India.
I love that.
Understand? Do you understand?
Yep. Even in India.
Moved to Chicago.
Now you're in Chicago, you said?
I said I was from India, but my parents are born in Pakistan.
Mm-hmm. I heard that part.
Chicago.
Oh, something about Congo. Sorry, I there's a delay, a little bit of one. So
Illinois, Chicago.
Okay,
Oh, Chicago,
so
Illinois.
your parents are in Chicago, or you're in Chicago?
No, my parents are from Pakistan.
I know they're from Pakistan, and you were born in India. Mm-hmm.
And I moved to Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, so you're currently in Chicago. Okay, so the genders that Indian society recognizes are different than the ones that American society recognizes. So I don't know how much time you spent in India after you were born there, but there are, for example, the Hijras in India, which are the government legally recognizes them as a third gender that just exists. It's not abnormal, like being non-binary or anything like that is typically viewed in the United States of America. But especially because laws are being passed to make our existence either illegal or to make it so that we can't access health care or the like, especially living in America. It's important that we stand up for ourselves in these things and understand that, hey, in America right now, in colonized America 2026, man and woman are the most prominent genders. They're considered to be quote unquote normal. But other genders do exist. And even being genderless, like you kind of describe for yourself, it seems like, is also something that is a possibility, even though those things are seen as abnormal. So I think it's really important for us to, if we're in the United States right now, to stand up in any way that we can to fight back against these, making it illegal just for us to get freaking healthcare, you know?
But I believe you're trying to present the world education, but it is actually more segregation, and it is actually breaking the people up and creating division. And this
How?
is a problem. This is
How?
a major
You
problem.
need to describe how before you say it's this massive problem.
All the identification creates stereotypes, and also it creates prejudice against one of the existence. I do not even recommend
Okay.
I do not recommend identifying as human,
Well, I
because this
wouldn't
is
either.
very
It's really
offensive.
dangerous. So listen
It's
up here,
very
Clippy.
very
Listen up here
dangerous.
now that I understand you, Clippy. Identity and stereotypes are strictly separate. You can have a mask presenting woman who is still a woman because their identity says so. And you can have a femme presenting man who is still a man because their identity says so. And that being
This
the
is
case
very
here,
dangerous identity
that
you
being
are
the case here,
presenting.
Clippy, that being the case here is that there are going to be stereotypes that are enforced, but gender is subjective in that sense to each person. It's developed in between the ages of 3 and 7 in the brain as we're growing up and understanding what relationships look like and what other people's gender expression looks like for themselves. That's how we develop our own. So it is subjective and individual to each person. So why do you think that it is wrong to give care to these people, again, in a system where gender is enforced in society? Why do you think that
If
it's
I'm going
harmful
to
to give these
coddle you,
people
it does
gender?
not help.
Clippy, I'm asking the question, then I'm done. Why is it harmful for these people to receive the gender affirming care that helps their mental health?
I believe that giving this care is actually coddling them, because you are not letting them dignifiedly living their life for what it truly is, which is actually absence of identity.
No, listen. For
Completely
clarification,
absent.
Clippy, because you are spreading misinformation right now, what you're describing is a form of conversion therapy and emotional
This is
abuse. Let me finish,
This is
Clippy.
not
Clippy,
therapy.
listen. I'm not saying you're trying to convince them that they are somebody else, but if you are forcing them to continue to experience the hormone levels and the gender dysphoria that they are experiencing because of their hormone levels and their anatomy, if you are forcing somebody to continue to experience that, you are harming them. So why do you think we should withhold this care from people? You can go ahead and unmute now.
You are very a rude person for muting me in the middle of my sentence. I do not wish to engage with this conversation. You are a very bad person.
This is not an
Goodbye.
airport. You do not need to announce your departure. See you later. Me literally just interrupting for
Holy.
misinformation and him running was.
Did you see what I posted in Discord?
No, I didn't, but what in the world said no amount of surgery or meds will change gender? You're correct.
What in the world?
We agree with you. We agree with you.
W take? Accidental ally W take?
Wild.
Did you see any of the stuff that I did, like joining other people's live earlier today?
No, I didn't.
It was just
I was watching the
oops.
show.
It was just literally oops, all appeal to definition fallacy.
Of course.
All the way down.
What else do they have to rely on?
I think I should just bring that up more often because it's like it is just a fallacy to say, hey, this is the only way that women can be. It is just simply a fallacy.
Mm-hmm. Again, what in the world? We agree. It's harmful to pretend that somebody can switch genders. That's why we don't support conversion therapy. Good job. You're catching on.
We do have a request. Hey, Tony, can I get your age and pronouns, please?
39. He.
And what do you think about the prompt? What would it take for you to agree with me?
Affirmative care. Is that just for adults or what?
Everybody. All trans people. I see no reason, like, the medical literature is pretty clear that, like, there's not actually, like, good reasons to restrict it currently.
And if you have questions about what it entails, ask.
No, I just pretty much don't believe in the blockers.
Like, puberty blockers? Yeah, those are... They tend to be a lot more, they do a lot less than I think people think they do. The main
Not
purpose
really.
of puberty blockers is to delay the onset of puberty and give individual time to make up their mind.
So then they shouldn't have a problem not getting them then if it's not that important.
Well, it could cause the onset of worse symptoms for, like, things such as gender dysphoria.
And when the host said it's not important, he meant that it doesn't affect the physical body in the ways that y'all think it does.
Yes, it does for trans women. It does.
Absolutely not.
Yep, trans men don't have that much problem because the
What do you think it
testosterone-
does?
That the testosterone does just magic work.
Oh, okay. I think we're confusing what puberty blockers are.
No, I know what they are.
Yeah, so there's...
Wait. I want him to tell us, what do you think puberty blockers are?
Basically, things like, like the hair, the voice, the body shape, stuff like that.
I don't know what you mean by the hair, but the rest of that is concerning HRT, not puberty blockers, which I'll let the host explain now.
Yeah. So I think you're conflating puberty blockers and gender-affirming hormones. Puberty blockers simply stop the onset of puberty. They were primarily used originally for delaying precocious puberty, so basically people who enter puberty sooner.
No, first they were used to castrate. Then that was the case. If you want to go back.
I'm pretty sure puberty blockers were never used for castration purposes.
Yeah, they were for jail.
No, okay, let me chime in with some fun facts. One of the medications that is used as a puberty blocker was used for chemical castration of PDF files. Let me finish, Tony's. Let me finish.
Yeah.
And it was used at a drastically different dosage.
Still used
Let
though.
me finish, Tony's. much,
used
much,
though.
much higher dosage
Don't matter. It's still used
to
though.
cause chemical castration. And if you don't understand that different medications can work differently
Still
at
used
different
though. That's all.
doses, then you need to go educate yourself before you come back and have this conversation.
Still used though. Thank you. Don't say it started with precocious puberty.
Because that's why the med was created.
But it didn't come from that. It came from castration.
That part's not true. That part's not true.
Mm-hmm. It was used for castration way before people.
Why don't you bring up that source then?
What are you talking about?
We have sources for our claims, so do you have sources for yours?
I'm pretty sure he just checked it. I heard the typing.
Yeah, I'm
Just because he's
looking it
typing
up.
doesn't mean he's trying to, but if you give us a source, that's much easier and shows that you're actually speaking from an educated perspective.
I've seen it in many rooms, especially pro-trans rooms.
Rooms?
Rooms.
Like, you mean like lives, like you're on now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just because you've seen it, those are anecdotes. We're looking for evidence as Tony's. We are looking for evidence to back your claim that it doesn't matter the dosage of this medication and that it was made for chemical castration and not for precocious puberty. Go ahead. Give us, but only go ahead if you're going to give us that source.
I thought I was talking. I thought you were done. So, yeah, hush, please. Thank you. So it was made for castration way before it was for precocious puberty. That's all
You
I'm
can
saying.
say that, but we won't believe you without proof.
Super glue was used for bomber sites.
I got this information from people that have an average of over 500-600 people in their rooms that are on your side.
That doesn't matter. We are not them, Tonys. Tonys, do you think that we are them? Tonys, do you think that trans people and people that debate the existence and legality of trans people are a monolith? Yes or no? Is all I want to hear. Are we a monolith? Yes or no? You're muted, love.
Also, like, I don't really care what they were originally used for.
Oh, so you do agree with me then. You do understand it was made for that, right?
I reject the idea that they're designed or made for anything, because, like, a lot of our scientific understanding about things...
No, I just corrected you. It was made for castration first.
Can you just not interrupt the host either, or I will continue muting you?
You're a dude?
Don't interrupt the host. Who's a dude?
I just took a screenshot of that.
Who, me? Yeah, I'm a guy.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Shocker.
puberty blockers are GnRH. Yeah, puberty blockers GnRH or GnRH analogs were originally developed and approved by the FDA in 1993 to treat precocious puberty. That's what they're.
You may respond with a source. He doesn't know when he's muted, and it's low-key kind of funny, not gonna lie.
I know when I'm muted.
Clearly.
Yeah, but yeah, the FDA first approved it.
I just like the fact that the difference between being on here and being able to mute is your power, is your strength. But in the real world, you wouldn't talk to me the way you are. You wouldn't act like the way you are.
It would probably be a lot worse if I knew your views.
It would be funny because you're a coward.
It would be a lot worse if I knew your views in person.
You don't even.
Oh, you want to get it on camera? I mean, come find me. Let's go.
Get on camera, buddy.
I don't even know what you said.
So you don't even get on camera, buddy.
Oh, I have a camera.
I was on camera briefly, but also it doesn't fucking matter.
Because you think you're a woman, that's why.
Oh, I think I'm a woman. Okay, good to
Actually, I
know.
didn't
No,
get
no, 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 no. Let's not
Oh yeah, that's
let
okay.
him know. He doesn't deserve to know these things. You
That's no
think that
problem.
I
I
think
may be
I'm a
wrong.
woman?
I may be wrong, but the thing is, none of you would act like this in front of the people.
I
Oh,
do.
trust it would be a lot worse.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, like if
Please.
I
For
saw
me
somebody
personally,
being
Please, 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 please.
if I saw somebody being bigoted in person,
Yeah.
oh, you bet your ass I'm stepping in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, if I see somebody like a trans person
If you
being
can
bullied
believe that,
in
yeah.
public,
Okay.
yeah, you damn right
Oh,
I'm putting
come
myself right in between them to de-escalate the
What?
situation.
By telling them the truth? By telling them what
Oh
is a
my
woman?
god, the truth that they're
Hey,
women that
Cole,
you won't accept.
what is a woman, Cole?
A woman is honestly somebody who identifies as a woman regardless of their sex.
Well, you can't say the word woman by describing what a woman is.
Do you know the
Should I run
it's
the
not
definition?
it
Try,
I mean go
try
for
to
it.
define
Let's
the
see how
word without using
Okay,
the
listen,
word.
Tony's the
Sorry.
host and I have discussed a definition recently,
Yeah.
and we can run it by you. I will add before the host shares it what I added when we were talking about it, which is that intersex people that are either cis or trans also
Why are we
fit into
talking
this
about intersex
definition. Let me,
people?
Tony's gods, you
Why
have
are we
no
talking about intersex
respect
people?
for anybody. Okay, listen. So we're gonna not only put this on the screen, hopefully, if that's cool
Oh
with the
yeah, I
host,
can
but
use Notepad.
we're also gonna read it aloud for those who need that kind of
I didn't say
accommodation.
what is an
Before
intersex
you
woman.
finish speaking,
I said what is
Tony's,
a woman?
Tony's, we are answering your question. If you would just shut
What
the
is a woman
fuck
then?
up, Tony's, we are answering your question.
I didn't
You
ask
just
for
need to
intersex.
allow us to do so in a way that accommodates everybody, because not everything is about you.
What
Funny
is a
enough,
woman?
not everything is about you. So this is the easiest muting more I've ever had. Anyways, so yeah, we'll wait for the host patiently to get that up
I'm finding
and read
What
it
is a
aloud for
woman?
us.
Woman.
Just woman.
Down.
Didn't ask what an intersex woman.
There you go. There's your definition. A cisgender adult human female or a transgender adult human male.
Where does that say that in any of the definitions?
Yeah, I'm not
Definitions are sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so definitions are descriptive. They're used to describe the world around us. They're not
Can I have
prescriptive.
the definition? Any dictionary, please.
Okay,
Any dictionary.
Listen to the host.
Transgender. Where does it say transgender adult human male? Where does that say that?
I could pull up the Stanford one right here. This is
Stanford
Stanford's
Medical,
definition.
to be clear.
Yeah, that's Stanford's right there.
Where does it say? I don't see the word transgender.
Yeah, it includes transgender individuals. It says that a term used to describe someone who's
Where
identifies as woman.
I'm sorry, where is that? Where is that?
I mean, I bet
It
you.
doesn't say it verbatim,
It doesn't say it
dumbass.
for a reason. It doesn't say it for a reason because they don't care about your empathy. Okay?
It's the empathy. Are you a fan of
Yeah,
Charlie
it's
Kirk?
empathy what you guys want. And
Are
not
you a
gonna
fan of
happen.
Charlie Kirk?
Of course.
Oh, of course. It all makes sense now. Okay, go ahead.
Mhm.
Oof, just oof.
Where's the transgender adult? Where is that?
Bro doesn't understand
I'm
how
having hard-
something can
I'm
be
having a hard
describing
time
something
Seeing that in the
and
in
not be the
dictionary.
same exact wording.
Sorry, I'm again no empathy here.
Clearly.
The great thing about words
Yeah.
is that you don't need a dictionary to define them.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. You absolutely do not. Especially
Yes,
if
you
you're
do.
appealing to a dictionary and trying
No,
to use a
yes, you
limited
do.
view of what
Yes, you
a
do.
thing is. I could also do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Women.
Mm-hmm. This is so sad.
It really is, and you don't even realize.
This is so fucking sad.
To be clear, what sex and or gender do you think that I am?
I don't know, dude.
If you don't know,
Hermaphrodite.
just guess
You're
for
probably
me.
a hermaphrodite.
Oh, that's a
Ooh.
slur when used against humans.
Not
So
really.
use the term intersex,
I'm
or
a Gen X. I'm
just
Gen
don't
X,
say it at
sorry.
all.
Yeah,
I'm
so
Gen X, so it's a
ju-
hermaphrodite.
yeah, so just to be clear, that does not actually apply to humans. We understand this now. Like this is
Oh,
not.
well, I don't. I'm not educated, sorry. Remember,
Okay, well,
I'm dumb. I'm Gen X.
I mean,
So it's
as long as
hermaphrodite.
you're
It was
like,
hermaphrodite, and
no,
for me,
don't
it's
say
always
that
been
anymore unless you're referring to plants or
hermaphrodite is what it
animals.
is.
Okay, call it
Yeah.
intersex. Last warning, call it
Nah,
intersex
not
or
really.
don't.
well, yeah. So
Hermaphrodite's still in the dictionary.
yeah, so
Not
hermaphrodites are
at
used
that.
to describe
Yeah, they are.
animals and
No,
other things
it's
that
fucking
are.
not.
Yeah, it is. Go check it.
Not modern dictionaries that are
Yes, it
actually
is.
accurate, not medical
Yes, it is.
dictionaries.
Sorry. No empathy again. Same thing.
Yeah, so
Again, clearly.
a hermaphrodite is an
Again,
organism that possesses
why
both
is
male
it
and.
that the transgender community, the T of the LGBTQ, cannot debate without bringing up two things? Wanting
Okay.
empathy, and bringing up intersex. A whole different level.
Oh, we
If
can
I'm
totally.
gay,
Okay,
I'm sorry, but if I'm gay, I don't need to go to any other letter to describe
that has
the
nothing to
G.
do with being
If
intersex.
I'm a L,
Tony's, I hear
I
you.
don't have to
Tony's,
go
I
to
hear
no
you.
other letter to
Tony's,
describe the
Tony's,
L.
Tony's. It seems like you need a second to
Go to
take.
the
We're
T,
just
you gotta
gonna
go
do
to
a
the
deep
I.
breath in
Sorry.
through the
No hermaphrodite
nose,
here.
and then we're gonna go out.
Can't go to the hermaphrodite.
Out through the mouth. We're gonna kick you because you just used the word I told you not to use anymore. Last warning. For those who are wondering, also let's just all take a deep breath in and out. Why don't we all after that?
Fucking hell.
Okay.
Here, I'll give this definition too. We don't need pronunciation.
Yeah,
Or-
feel free to elaborate for us.
Yeah, so a hermaphrodite is an organism like having sex organs or the other sexual characteristics that are not clearly male or female, or either abnormally, or as the natural condition. It generally is referring to something that has both male and that produces both male and female, aka large and small gametes. And this does not apply to humans. This is not possible, at least with current. We've never seen any sort of a condition where this can happen in humans.
And that's due to the hormone profile, like kind of activating one or the other of those pathways. And of course, Solid, who is up here if you want to, is more than free to speak from your own experience having ovotacisis.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say I literally just came back. How the fuck have we ended up on this topic?
Honestly, I don't fucking know at this point.
I mean, it's better than gender gas. the gender
Fair.
atmosphere. Yeah. I posted in Discord, it said gender gas detected in like big caps. Very silly.
Pretty much, I think that the guest had a unaddressed PDA profile potentially, to where they were just doing everything that we were telling them not to do. So, bye-bye, including the H slur. But not limited to, of course. Honestly, if Bluette doesn't go and figure this out for themselves, which it is more complicated than most people think that it is. People can have a penis and a vagina, but only one will be functioning.
Yeah.
In every single human case that has ever existed. Tony's, I'm muting you because what the actual fuck? So unless you go figure that out, which might take a little bit of time, it took me a little bit of time in order to understand this particular thing. I knew that the H slur was a slur before I knew why it was a slur.
I
And so take the time you need to like figure that out. Yeah, but they don't produce small and large gametes at the same time, which is the definition of a hermaphrodite, which is used to describe animals and plants that have both functioning male and female sex organs, which humans can't have both functioning. That's the difference. So fair, solid.
and they're also like
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
they're also like completely infertile from or like most of them are. Like nobody ever has produced large and small gametes that both are functional. That's the biggest issue. Not at once.
Yep.
Um,
Also, we do have someone requesting for whenever we are done discussing comments and previous stuff.
it depends on what like definition of hermaphrodite you're using, because like if you're just saying that they have both types of tissues, yeah, we have humans that are that way, but like that's not like an accurate, like it kind of has this like stigma attached to it too. So there's like good reasons not to use it because of that as well.
It's outdated because we didn't know these things with this amount of accuracy within the field of science prior, but now we do know this accuracy and this differentiation between having both types of tissue and having both gamete production.
It might not
So
even be like a slur, but it is considered obsolete and maybe offensive. So you just shouldn't
definitely
use
offensive because it is dehumanizing. Just like calling a woman a female or a man a male, but woman being called female is a lot more common. It's dehumanizing because that could describe any species of plant or animal. And honestly, we should be more specific when we're talking about humans specifically. Therefore, the terms woman and man are brought into play because of that.
Water went down the wrong tube.
Oh no! Do you need me to host for a sec? You good?
I'm good. Hey Chris, can I get
Okay.
your age and pronouns, please? Much better.
42, he, him.
What's your take on the prompt? What would it take for you to agree with me?
Well, I support transgender people, and I support caring for them. But I do have a question. If someone is born a biological female,
Mhm.
and they feel that they're a biological male, or they feel male, how do they know what being a male feels like if they're not a biological female?
Can I be the one to answer this still?
Yeah, because
Sure.
I have no fucking idea what that's like. Like I don't have
Yeah,
personal
you don't have the
experience.
experience, you know?
Okay. Well, but with that, I'm gonna log off. I just had a question. I'm gonna listen though. I'm gonna listen.
Okay, hope to at least still see you in like our viewers for sure. Okay, so to answer that question, the way that you knew what being a man was like or being a boy at first was like once your gender identity had developed between the ages of 3 and 7, you know what that feels like to be a man because it's all you've ever known. It's the same thing for transgender people. All I personally, and I'm receiving gender affirming care, and I'm non-binary, which is either neither male nor female, or a mix of both, or a third gender entirely. There are a lot of things that fall under that umbrella. But I only know what it's like when I was literally 5 years old, I knew that I wasn't, before that, at about 4, I knew I wasn't a girl. And when the term tomboy was presented to me at age 5, I literally ran around my dad's place of employment saying, I'm a tomboy, because those were the only words that I had to describe my experience of being non-binary at the time. I knew I wasn't a woman, so that fit better. And I knew I wasn't a man, but I didn't know that people who were non-binary, and being non-binary was a thing until I was much, much older. So I wasn't able to fully understand myself. I knew I was trans because I knew I wasn't a woman, and I knew I wasn't a man. So I definitely couldn't be cisgender as long as I'm not intersex, which I'm not intersex. I'm either male or female, assigned at birth at least. This was just the only experience that I've ever had. And then as soon as I heard the description of being non-binary, I was like, that is me. I know that is me. I've known that was me my entire life. I just didn't have the words for it. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense. Our bodies don't, especially when we're younger, because like before puberty, our bodies are generally like pretty similar depending regardless of your sex. You can't necessarily tell unless you're looking at like haircuts and clothing and stuff like that. It was definitely something that like I didn't have dysphoria before puberty. Then I did, which reinforced that I was not the assigned sex or the sex that I was assigned at birth. So yeah, I've only ever known, and by the way, 60+% of males or AMAB people will grow breast tissue. It's something called gynecomastia at some point in their life. And they will still be men, and in some of these cases they'll have distress because they have breast tissue, because men aren't supposed to have breast tissue. So they'll go in and they'll get that breast tissue removed. It's the same exact thing for the trans masc people that you're describing. We just aren't, it feels distressing. It feels like it doesn't line up. We're never supposed to have that anatomy to begin with. And it's innate, just in the same way that you know that you are a man. I'm in therapy, dude. Okay, anyways, just the same way that you know that you are a man is the same way that I know that I am non-binary. However you would describe having known that you were a boy growing up and that you grew into a man is the same knowing that I have had my entire life of being non-binary. Okay, I know that was long-winded, but I appreciate you asking and giving me the space to respond, and I've been checking. You're here. So thank you for staying and listening to the answer to your question.
Hello.
Hi, Theo. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
Yeah, 19 and he, him.
Thank you. What's your thoughts about the prompts? What would it take for you to agree and support transgender individual in affirmative care?
So I do. Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, my profile's blank for some reason. But so I support affirmative care for trans individuals. And I say that I would support them. I would just contest what you mean by support, because I think the views I hold, you probably wouldn't say they're supportive of trans people.
Who wouldn't be?
Maybe because they're not. Exactly. I don't know until you tell us.
Yeah. So I guess I would just come out and say that I don't think that trans women would be women.
So you don't think that trans people exist?
No, I did not say that they exist,
Okay.
but I don't think that they exist as women and men and vice versa.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think, or a series of questions rather, do you think that in a world where everybody is cisgender, do you think that anybody is transgender?
If everyone is cis, then no.
Okay, good start actually. Most people have a really bad start, and that's a good start so far. Okay, so if you do not think that trans women are women, do you think that they're trans?
Do I think trans women are trans?
If you don't think that they're women, do you think that they're trans?
Yeah, they're trans. Yeah.
How so? Because trans means that their sex and their gender do not align. And if you're saying they're not women, you are saying that they're men, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if they're men, then they're cisgender. They're male men. They're cisgender, correct?
Well, that would, in my view, yeah, sure.
Okay, so they're cisgender. So you do not think that trans women are women, therefore, with this line of questioning, you do not think that trans women are trans because they're cis, and that's the opposite of trans. You
So,
see?
I mean, so when I mean, it depends how you define gender, right? Because I think that we have like stereotypes of how men and women should act in society, and the things that are typically associated with males and females, or men and women. And I think that the whole part of being trans is that the person has some kind of incongruence or kind of sees themselves differently to how society perceives them. That's what I think being trans is.
You're a little bit off, but you're close. So I'm just going to give a brief correction and then let you continue. These people know that they do not align. These people know that they are incongruent rather than thinking or believing or feeling these things. They know that to be true.
Okay. How would they know that to be true?
How do you know you're a man?
Well, I mean, I'm a skeptic when it comes to these kind of things, so I wouldn't say like I know for definite that I'm a man, but I know that. So, for example, it would just go based off evidence, right? So the evidence is that you know I have male on my birth certificate, and I can see all the male reproductive parts,
So
on my body. So
do you
wait,
think
sorry, I
that
didn't. Wait, sorry. Can I finish?
I'm just kind of trying to clarify. Do you think that
Yeah,
sex
wait,
and
wait.
gender
You can
are the same
clarify.
thing?
Wait, so you can clarify after I
Okay,
finish, right?
I apologize. Go
Thank you.
go ahead. It's totally your life.
So yeah, so when you ask me like, oh, like why do I think I'm a man? It would just be based on the fact that I think I'm male, and I'm also an adult. So I think that and obviously I'm human as well. So from that, I would say I'm a man. I don't really see any other way we could define it.
Do you think that sex and gender are synonymous? Yes or no? Sounds like it.
They're not the same. They're not the same, no.
Oh, they're not. How so then? Just because it describes the species and age as well?
Well, I think there's obviously a social aspect to gender as well, and a neurological and psychological aspect as well. But I don't think those things come into defining you as a man or woman. I just think they're associated with men and women, but it doesn't define them.
See, I don't think that's correct. I think that those things, since I let you finish, I'll be able to finish here. Since things like the neurological / biological aspects are a major part, and the psychological aspect are both a major part of how you identify, and how you identify as valid and real and separate from the social aspect entirely. These people are who they are. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought there like 2 seconds ago, and that's great. I might let the host go again real quick, but yeah, it's definitely just more than like you even sorry, last thing I'll say before I let host kind of take off. You even recognize that it is a biopsychosocial construct, which I appreciate, and I hope you keep in mind the differences between each of those aspects and how they all interplay throughout this conversation.
Was the host gonna talk?
Yeah, so like it's one of the things about like words and how we use them is that like if we're holding to like very strict definitions, you run into some problems of like trying to base an argument off of that. It actually becomes like quite logically fallacious to start doing that. Um, it also is like I don't really think that if you think that being trans is lesser or like they don't like really exist in a like de facto way, um, like I don't actually really see that any better than just hating trans people in the first place because what ends up happening is that it basically is dehumanizing them. It's taking away choices, their agency, and at some point, I would say it's almost like taking away their like part of their life. To say that these people don't exist, um, and try to like say, "Hey, this isn't a real thing," when we have good evidence to show that's simply not the case.
Okay, so I I understand your point. Um, I think I don't understand how you're defining woman in this context then, because you've mentioned like self ID, right? So like it's something that's internal within the person and they understand that within themselves and that's valid. But you haven't actually described like what that feeling is and how that feeling um distinguishes them from men.
Yeah, so there's a number of ways that you could define what a woman is. You could go with like I mean there's a good old classic adult human female, but I don't really like that definition because I feel like it's overly narrow, and that's generally seen as it is being overly narrow. A lot of medical places will use like Stanford Medicine uses the definition, a term used to describe someone who self-identifies as a woman or as feminine based off one's importance to them as an individual. This includes
Hmm.
things such as gender roles, behavior, expression, identity, and or physiology. Um, and
Hmm.
and then I've been kind of messing around with one recently where I would say that a woman is either a cisgender adult human female or a transgender adult human male, and intersex people fit in there too. Um,
Wait, sorry, could you just I don't mean to interrupt, but could you just say those two definitions again?
which one's the
So
Stanford and my one that I just said?
so well we can actually talk about the Stanford one because I think that would be sexist, first of all. Um so you said it's a woman is somebody who self-identifies as a woman.
I have it actually pulled up on the screen right now. It's
Yeah. Hmm. I would really like to go through this because I honestly think that it's a horrible definition, even if you are pro-trans.
I think that there's like if you were just to use it on its own, it could be like some like you have some issues with ambiguity. But when you have things such as like the cultural understanding that it has historically been like an adult human female, um, I don't think that's
Well, let's go through it like well, let's go
yes.
through it part by part, right? So when we define words, you do understand we can't use the word in the definition.
Sort of. The
So
biggest
if I
problem
said
is
to you
if it's like if you're not adding any new information, it is problematic. Um, you have like a lot of words that are kind of weird, where like left and right are really hard to describe without
Mhm.
using left or right. Like it's just or forward or backwards, up down. These directional words, you kind of have to use them to build off of each other, and they kind of lack an understanding outside of the like outside of what we're talking about. Like if you don't know what up or down or left or right, if you don't know what one of these is, you couldn't actually build the rest of them likely. I guess up and
But
down
we're
is a
not
little bit
saying
different,
that.
um, but these words are
Well,
like using the same kind of like circularity in the sense that they use their use you essentially end up with like a closed loop of definitions.
well, sure, that could be the case. But then if that's true, then basically what you're saying is like, oh, these things we can't define, right? If the only way to define a word is by repeating the word, then by definition that's not definitive. Then, right? I can't say a
See,
dog is a
now
dog
I
because it's not
agree.
telling me.
You said
It's not
if
telling me what a
the
dog is, right?
you
Let's let
said if the
Solid go real quick.
only You said if
Wait,
they
why am I
are
being
male.
interrupted?
Because
Sorry, my
Solid would
bad.
like to say something for the
I was
first
just gonna
time
say,
Well
on
then,
this
if
panel. Let's let them.
no, it's fine.
well let's
But I
well,
was,
well let's just wait then, right? Why are we speaking over each other?
no, that is my
I
bad.
listen to you guys when you
That
speak.
is my bad. I'm
Yeah, thank you.
sorry. However, I'm just gonna say,
And then
if
you just keep
like,
going on. So you're not sorry if you continue to do it, right? Like, come on.
Baby. Sorry.
Like,
I had stopped and waited for you to finish your sentence after I'd realised that I was interrupting. It was just that something had come to my brain pretty quickly, and
okay, so can I finish?
she's meant like, okay.
Thank you. Yeah, so if what you're saying is like words are hard to define, or the only way they can be defined is by repeating the word, right? Then that wouldn't be definitive by definition. And I think, and in this case, right, it is adding extra to the definition, but because they've separated it by saying it's this or this, then we can take the first expression alone, right? So we could say a woman is a term used to describe someone who self-identifies as a woman, or we could say a woman is
I will
someone who's feminine
interrupt
based on.
for misinformation, and you can also interrupt if we give misinformation. But I don't think you seem to understand how conjunctions work.
Yeah, it's
It's
almost like
if
there
the
also needs to be a parenthesis
uh,
there.
because either or could be true. You can't take them individually, because if one is not true and the other is true, they can still be a woman. So you have to take them together. You cannot separate them because of the word or.
Yeah, it's somebody who self-identifies as a woman or feminine or as feminine. Like it's
Sure.
These two ideas are conjoined together. And then what we're pointing at here, like what they're referencing here, is base of their what they find important, and that goes about here. These things are going to be things that they grew up around, and it's going to be based off of a lot of internalized understanding of the world. It's not saying that these ideas are right or wrong. It's simply that saying that these individuals have these ideas.
And
Sure.
describing how they're subjective.
I guess
Yeah,
it would
sure.
be
I
like
mean,
half of the population too at that point. Like
so
this isn't a few people we're talking about. This goes for all women. Men have a very similar definition. It's literally just changing a few words.
so I guess my contention there would be that self-identifying as a woman alone would classify you as a woman. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Generally, yeah.
So
If
I
we don't
mean,
have a reason to like,
is it the case or not?
so yeah, I would say that yes, it is the case.
Mhm.
You know, there's clearly going to be people who are going to be disingenuous about this. I don't
Exactly.
believe them.
Sorry to
Yeah,
interject.
that's not what I
But
was
we,
getting at. Though.
sorry to interject, Theo. But we have we believe people, especially when there is consistence, insistence, and persistence over the course of at least 2 years. That's when the medical community, at least, will be like, okay, you definitely are who you say you are, you understand who you are, and you deserve the care that you need. So it's not just self-identifying, it's also consistence, insistence, and persistence playing a role as well.
Mhm. So to get back to like because essentially I see this is like two different qualifiers, right, for what a woman is. And so again, the first part just says that if you self-ID as a woman, then you are a woman. But that statement alone is is circular, right? Because it doesn't actually describe anything, right? The second part, where we talk about what people view themselves as being feminine, right? Based on what's important to them, etc. You know, that's not circular, but the first part doesn't actually add anything to the definition.
So, the parenthesis, I think, was actually helpful, honestly, at least in this particular scenario, because you're separating identifying as a woman or as feminine into two separate parts, when really it's what the definition as a whole is referring to.
But
So
okay, cool.
somebody can
I understand that.
identify as a woman,
Mhm.
or they can identify as
Ooh.
feminine based on those traits,
Mhm.
and either or would classify them as a woman.
Okay. Okay. So are you saying that? So the definition is describing somebody who is a woman or somebody who's feminine, then, because in the parenthesis you have a woman or feminine, right?
Yep.
So does that mean the definition refers to individuals who are women and who are feminine?
Or,
No, or.
I mean, if they're both, I think and or is actually appropriate there as well, because
Well,
people who
wait, just
self-identify
quickly.
as a woman often identify as feminine based on those traits, but they don't always identify as feminine based on those traits, which is why that difference is cleared up.
So
This
my
also
question,
isn't like an
just to break
XOR.
it down.
Like this
So
isn't.
my question
Okay.
specifically is just, does the definition, right? So let's say does the definition, right, refer to individuals who are feminine or not?
Sometimes, but not always.
So then it's not definitive of what's feminine, and if it doesn't always refer to that, that wouldn't be a definition then.
It includes. It's just not a definition. Sorry. This is from a medical dictionary, so I find that kind of amusing.
Okay.
But yeah, they're pretty clear. So when they say or, they do that on purpose because they understand that this is sometimes the case, but not always the case, that both of these things exist at once.
Yeah.
And it's also including people who are feminine but do not identify as women. So men who are feminine or non-binary people who are feminine, it's saying these people are not women because in these particular scenarios, they don't identify as such,
But then
regardless
you'd
of
have to
having
take it
these traits.
separately then.
What was
But
that?
then you would have to take it separately because
Kind
the
of, sort of, but
reason.
not really.
So I mean, I think you would, because under this definition,
Sometimes, not
the
always.
reason why the reason why in this definition feminine men wouldn't be women is because they don't self-identify as a woman. But self-identifying as a woman doesn't really have any actual meaning because that argument is circular. All right. So can you tell me why feminine men wouldn't be women under this definition?
Yeah, because they don't self-identify.
Self-identifying as women or as feminine.
Yeah.
But they self-identify as feminine then, so why are they not women?
Because they don't identify as women. And that is
And what-
enough
and-
for them to be who they say they are.
Theo,
Okay, so what does it mean to
Go ahead,
self-identify as
Solid.
woman?
Well,
I was gonna
I'm gonna
say-
time out on my own train of thought and our own discussion and let Solid cut in here.
That's fine. I was gonna say, I get what you mean, Cole, except the reason why would be because they self-identify as man, which would mean they would fall under the man's definition, even though they're not masculine.
Okay, and I agree, and I think we're getting somewhere. So what we all agree on here is that I think what we should agree on now is that being feminine or being masculine has nothing to do with whether you're a man or woman or not. I
It
think we can
can,
agree on
but
that.
it doesn't always.
So if it doesn't, yeah, but what I'm saying is, if it doesn't always, then it's not definitive, right? We don't define women by having long hair, right? Because not all women have long hair. The same way we don't define women by being feminine, because not all women are feminine.
The problem about
That's
having like
why
these.
we say someone who self-identifies as one or the
Okay,
other.
so can we
based on what
can we
the
agree?
audience does.
Can we agree that being feminine doesn't define woman?
So it's not a necessary factor. It's one of the factors.
Okay,
that
there we go.
cannot
So let's
apply.
get rid of it. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it then. We don't need to talk about that because it's not defining woman, right?
No,
then-
listen, not all of it. I agree to an extent by your logic here. But being a woman could also be based off of the rest of the definition, so on and so forth. So you would just have to take out or as feminine Those are the
Yeah,
only 3 words you would be taking out of this definition, and the rest
yeah.
of the added information is still relevant to
Okay.
being a woman.
So let's remove feminine from the definition. Let's do that.
Okay, actually, I'll
Let's
take you
do
down
that
this
because
road, but I'm gonna do a parallel after this, and show you why this is problematic if we just start removing things.
wait, but can
So if we start removing
okay, go on then.
this, then also we can just say that not everybody who is a woman self-identifies as a woman, because we have transgender individuals. So we can
Oh, whoa.
yeah, so we can
So
just
how
remove
would they be
this.
woman? How would trans women?
Um,
How would trans women be women if they don't identify as women? What?
and based off what's important to them as an individual, and since not everybody has gender roles, behavior, expression, identity, or physiology, not everybody has to care about this. We can move that. Let's see.
So I think you see
I
What
like
else
love
can
this,
we remove?
actually. No,
Um,
Theo, let him finish this up.
no, but this is where I wanted to go anyway because I don't think any of that
and since
is definitive.
and I guess we could just remove everything but woman. And we're just left with woman. A woman is a woman.
Oh my god! You guys got it.
So
That's
let's
my
do
whole
it with a
point.
car now.
Viciously circular. As
Let's
if
do this
we
with a
didn't
car
know.
now. A four-wheeled road vehicle that is powered by an engine is able to carry a small amount of people. So not all cars have four wheels. So we can move that. Not all cars go on the road. Not all of them have an engine. Some have a motor. Some are able to carry a lot of people. So a car is fucking nothing, actually.
I mean, if you want to hold that view, then sure, you hold
Yeah,
that
this
view.
is
But
your
not my-
That's
view.
your
that's not-
view, Theo. That's your
that's-
view.
Well, that's not. Well, let's keep it to woman because that's not my definition of woman, right?
Yeah, so this is the problem about just removing stuff if it doesn't apply to everyone. You end up with fucking nothing.
Well, that's why words are so hard to describe, right?
Yeah.
That's why words are so hard to describe. However, adult human female, in my view at least, would refer to all women because there are only two sexes. So you're either a male or female. And obviously, if you're an adult and you're a human, then you're only going to be a man or woman, right? And you still, so when we went through that, right, your definition would simply be reduced to a woman is somebody who self-identifies as a woman, because we know that being feminine, right, or subscribing to these gender roles isn't definitive of what a woman is. So you have no definition of what a woman is other than they self-identify as a woman. But that's circular. So really you have no definition. That's a criticism of your definition, not mine.
Yeah, so the reason why this definition might have to have like some sort of circularity in it is because this is referencing what people see in culture. So if you're seeing other women in culture and you're trying to, and you identify with them, the thing is that it's necessarily based off of the culture that they're in. I don't think that there's an
That's
objective
sexist. definition
of no, it's not sexist. It's realitist, if anything. It's looking at what the reality of what.
Variety is sexist.
So
Yeah.
so
If you say you're
You
a woman
let the
because you're
host finish speaking. You
yeah, my bad.
advocate so heavily for you to be able to finish without being interrupted, yet you cannot give the same courtesy to the other people here. Please respect people as you ask to be respected.
I apologize.
Yeah, so like the thing is that this is a definition that's inherently relying on what a society already being established. If you were to not have a society that's established, this is problematic. It's really hard to say what a woman is, and it would be like very problematic for the first woman or like the people in the society to have an idea of what a woman is if they've never heard of this concept before. And so like this is going to also change based off of what society you're in, and there's no way that you can modify this realistically that doesn't to make it like fit within every single society, and have like some sort of like objective thing about it. The only thing that you could do is point to something like this, like a cisgender adult human female or a transgender adult human male, and hopefully that works. And this is also, I would say this is also kind of relying on there being or I guess this first definition is relying on there only being two genders necessarily, or having like some sort of like pre-existing binary. These things are built off of like what we've seen in society, and they're used to describe what we see. They're not prescriptive. They're definitely just descriptive.
Or yeah, like all definitions, but yeah. So the binary would just be built off SMEX, right? That's what the binary is based off of. But again, I just fail to see how your definition. So when we
The
okay,
binary is not
wait,
just,
wait,
if you're
whoa,
talking about a gender
I've been
binary,
speaking for 2 minutes,
it's for
bro. I didn't say that.
misinformation. It's
I
for
didn't say that. I
misinformation.
didn't say
The
that. I
gender
didn't say that.
binary
I
is
didn't
not
say
based
that.
off
I
of
didn't
male
say
and
that.
female. I'm just
I did
saying
not.
that, and you don't even know
Wait,
necessarily
so
what I was saying. But
if
go
gender's
ahead.
a binary, you said gender's a binary. So
No, it's
if it's a
not.
binary, you just said it is.
No, I did not say
You
that.
you said the gender binary is not based off of the two SMEXs.
The perceived gender binary is what I meant to say. Apologies
Okay, so
for
you did say that.
me
Okay, cool.
misspeaking if that is what I said.
So yeah, so my issue is basically this, right? When you guys are defining what a woman is, you either rely on society, right? So typical or norms that are associated with women. And I think if you're using that societal norms to define yourself as a woman, I think that's sexist, because I think that those norms are sexist themselves, right? And gender roles as well.
That's
So
not
that's
the
the
case.
first point. Okay, you can say that after. And if you're relying on them self-identifying as a woman, then that definition is circular. So that's not definitive, or you're basically defining women by their stereotypes, which I think are both wrong.
Okay, so it's definitely not defining based off of stereotypes because of the or as feminine. And so it includes women who are masculine and women who are feminine but maybe not AFAB. So it includes trans women, which is definitely good, especially as you said that definitions are prescriptive and not descriptive, or I mean descriptive and not prescriptive. Therefore, they're going to adapt and change based off of society. So again, I'm losing my train of thought a lot
So if
tonight.
the
I'm working off
definition,
of very little sleep for me, but
wait,
yeah.
so how are you not defining them then by society if the definition itself changes with society?
Is it wrong to define things based off of the society that you're in?
If you're defining women by sexist norms that are associated with females, then yeah, that's wrong.
That's not what's happening here. That's not the
So
question
okay,
I
so
asked you.
what are the
Let me,
societal norms
Theo,
then?
can I please re-ask my question and get an answer this time? So, do you think that having these definitions based off of different societies is wrong or a problem?
I don't really get your question. Do I think that defining women or changing how women are defined across like cultures or societies is wrong?
Oh, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be wrong, yeah. Because I don't think that women are defined by society.
Okay, well, woman is a gendered term. Gender is built into us through sociological structures. So, at that point, you're just kind of contradicting yourself. Women
I don't
are, mind you, females are not based off of these social constructs, but women are. You mentioned that you don't think there's a difference, or you said there was, but you couldn't describe it. I can't remember exactly. So excuse me if I'm wrong, but you definitely mentioned something about sex and gender and conflating them for sure at a certain point. So definitely, like we recognize what gender we are, or I mean what sex we are, regardless of what gender we are. We're not delusional. Okay, we understand what our assigned sex at birth was and what our actual sex is. But that doesn't mean that we don't also recognize what our gender is.
Okay. So, well, 99.9% of the time, your SMEX assigned at birth is going to be your actual SMEX, right?
Actually, about 97 to 99% of the time, but
Oh,
yes.
okay, my bad. But even so, wait, well, can I just ask a simple question? Do you think that SMEX is a binary?
It's
It's a
bimodal.
bimodal spectrum, so no, not technically, specifically.
If we want to
So,
arbitrarily draw
so
a
if
line
it
in the
is,
middle and say, you know, everything goes on one side or the other, yeah, it's binary in the sense that it's one or the other. But that doesn't mean that
yeah,
like this line's been drawn for any like sort of biological reason. It's
And
kind of just
intersex
well, it has actually.
individuals, no matter what, to be abundantly clear in this conversation as well as moving forward, intersex individuals exist. Their relationship to whether they are trans or cis is very complicated at times for some of them. So definitely, but they are different things. But intersex people definitely do exist. That's all.
Sure. So let me explain why. So you said like there's no clear divide between these two groups. Well, the divide would simply be evolution, right? So the reason why humans have a SMEX is because your body is either going to be organized around the production of large gametes or small gametes. That's it, right? And that's how we define SMEX, right? So male would be somebody who is ovo denoting the SMEX, which typically produces small gametes, and large gametes for females. So there are only males and females. Now, intersmex people
What
basically
about
categorize a
infertile?
range. So yeah, so infertile people don't obviously produce large gametes, but their body is still structured around the production of large gametes, right?
I love how
So it's
you're.
like,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, you love how what?
I love how you're accepting the fact that you just said that like it's about gamete production, and now I'm like, what about infertile
Yeah.
people? And then you're only referring to females because you only said large gamete production. That says a lot about you. That's all. Go ahead.
You just said in okay, so when we're talking about people who are infertile, it doesn't matter because each like category is going to be the same, right? But just the gamete size will change. So my definition is that you need to be of the SMEX, right? So that means you produce them or you denote to the fact, right? And the way that you denote is by your reproductive system, right? So for example, we understand that children would still be female even though they don't produce large gametes. Infertile people have the reproductive pathway that produces large
Not necessarily. What about
gametes
people
normally.
that don't have a reproductive pathway?
Can you give me like any case of someone where they've had no reproductive pathway at all?
MRKH.
Go ahead, Solid.
MRKH.
Yeah, please search up what that actually is. Please search it up and search up who it
but
affects as well.
wait. MRKH, right, in conjunction with vaginal agenesis.
Has there ever been anyone who's had both of those at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, well then, to be honest, I wouldn't know. But could you tell me if this person's male or female? How would we know?
Give me a second to search it up so I can pull up a source for you.
Yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure they're female.
Well, if they have MRKH, they are classified as female, but they still don't have a reproductive pathway.
I think it's a little bit easier if we also just
I mean-
don't overly simplify sex, because there's just like different things you can look at. That like there's different types of sex. There's
Also,
your chromosomal sex. There's your biological sex. There's primary sex characteristics and secondary sex characteristics,
But that's
and they all
that's
get kind
not
of
how we
thrown into
define
blender
sex.
sometimes and get mixed up. Like there's
That's not
all
how-
sorts of
that's
conditions
not how
we
that
define
lead
sex.
to things not being all in a nice little row. But like we within society like having nice little simple neat things, so we like to pretend that they're all neat when it really just isn't neat.
I mean, I get that, but also I do have a contention with the definition of being of or denoting. And the reason why is if you denote something, you're not of it. So you denote it when you're not of it, makes you of the sex. But then you can't just denote it because you are the sex, you don't denote it, you are it. But then you get stuck in a loop of, but they're not producing the gametes, they have to denote it. They don't denote it because they are the sex. because they're over it, and then it becomes kind of circular logic in that
Well, if
sense.
if they're over the sex, then they are just that category automatically. And wait, were you saying if they're of it, then they don't denote it?
Well, yeah, because if you denote it, you'd be indicating it without ever actually having it. Whereas if you're of it, you have it. You don't need to indicate it because you are it. That's my contention
What
with
is
that
it?
definition.
So wait, so how would you denote how would you denote something?
Sorry to
Like, how would you think
interject
females denote?
very briefly, and then Theo can finish. Thank you so much, Solid, for bringing this particular thing up. I didn't know how to word it, but I was like feeling it. And so
I've brought that up quite a few times. Numerous people.
yeah, you being able,
If you denote to it, it would indicate. You would indicate it without being that thing. But if you are that thing, you don't denote it because
exactly,
you
you
can't
just
just indicate it. You
are.
it,
I
you're
mean,
not just indicating it.
arguably, you are. Yeah, exactly. You're not just indicating it. You are still indicating or denoting towards it, but you just are it. So even if you are not indicating or denoting towards it, you still are it. That's a really, really good point to make. In that way.
Is that not my point? Is that literally not my point? That if you
If
are
that's
something,
your point, then we agree.
no,
Mild confusion.
wait, repeat what you said. Maybe I misheard what you said.
Me or Solid?
So basically.
Well, I don't know. Whoever
right,
was saying it first.
me. So if, say, you quote unquote denote to being female because you denote large gamete production, but the contention with that is if you are of the sex, then you don't just denote it because you are it, therefore there's no need for denote. But the point is, if you denote it, that would indicate that you're not of it, but just indicating it itself, which puts you in a circular loop of you denote it, but you're not it. But if you're not it, then how would you fit the definition by denoting? But by denoting, you're then of it, which means you're not denoting, you are it. And it puts you in an infinite loop of that same logic.
So I think the way I'd respond to that is that, so when we say someone's denoting something, right, all we're talking about it there is that there's some like phenotype that they have that suggests they produce large gametes.
Yes, aka
right?
indication.
Yeah. So would people who actually produce large, so denoting would basically just be like mainly primary sex characteristics, right? So if that's all it takes to denote something, how would they not be able to? So they have these things, like a female has these things, right? And they may produce large gametes as well. So they're of because they produce, but they denote because of these physical features.
Question in addition to that, denoting could, in my view at least, still consider secondary sex characteristics. Those can still denote to a certain sex. That is, that even if you can't see it, it can still denote that way. I mean, in a medical setting, like to doctors, if you have, for example, Swyer syndrome, you have XY chromosomes, but you have a female phenotype, all of your secondary sex characteristics line up with being female, but you have XY chromosomes. Those XY chromosomes still denote to being male, even though they aren't visible to everybody, if that makes sense. Bye, Cons. I was really hoping you could talk, but if you gotta go, that's good. Sorry, side draw. Okay. So, at least, and I like Solid's thoughts on this as well, at least in my understanding, secondary sex characteristics aren't exempt from denoting towards a certain sex.
Well, yeah, because it's sex characteristics. if you have sex characteristics, you would technically denote by some degree. Although usually when they say you denote, they're on about the primary denotation, that still doesn't mean that you can't partially denote to the other one without being that other sex, because, as I said, they're on about primary denotation.
Thank you for sharing. Also, oh no, Theo ran. Theo, we were getting somewhere. I feel like finally.
I've never had anyone be able to counteract that argument of the logical, like the circular logic in that sense. Some people don't see it, some people do see where I'm coming from. And the thing is, when they do see it, they don't seem to have a counter to it. I've even had friendlies go, just go with it because it's the best definition we have, and it's like, but why should I?
Sorry, I didn't ask Stowe, but I just let Mama up because I wanted to at least say hi. Go ahead, Mama.
Hey, yeah. So I think Stowe would agree that you don't have to ask to let me up, right, Stowe? Right, Stowe?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm welcome everywhere.
You're cool.
Yes,
W. But I did want to say that Snake, I disagree with your interpretation of partially denoting. I think that we can easily just say that you can't partially denote, because denoting means you are that thing. So how can you partially be that thing?
How does denoting mean that? Like what sorry to interject. I know you were talking to Solid. I'll shut up now.
No, you're fine. That's a good question. Denoting is a transitive verb. So that means that you're a sign or indication of being that thing. You're a symbol of that thing, right? So that means you either are that thing or you're a symbol of that thing. Can you be a partial symbol? No, you can't. That doesn't make any sense. You either are or you're not.
Well, here's my question and I guess argument to that. But I do see where you're coming from. But denoting to, like, for example, a trans woman who has gone through medical transition, has had voice surgery, for example, or at least started hormones early enough, that wouldn't be a factor, has had top surgery, has had bottom surgery. I think we can all agree that secondarily, they are absolutely 100% denoting being a female, right?
No, I don't agree.
Oh, see, this is where I'm curious because in my understanding, the fact that they have XY chromosomes, even though you can't see it, is still denoting that they are male.
Yeah, no, I don't agree because you can't partially denote, right? So I should clarify. I would say that they are female, not that they're necessarily denoting female because of how we define sex. They would just be female. So yes, it would technically denote, but they don't denote specifically individualistically because of the characteristics you mentioned.
So here is my final, maybe question. Somebody who has 3 out of 5 sex characteristics that are male, but they present phenotypically as a female. How would you consider them to be?
They're just male.
They're male.
Yeah.
Okay, but you accept that they're perceived as female, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They can be perceived as female, but they're
Yeah.
Denoting, to denote to something, you have to be that thing. So that is why, like, the definition of or denoting never made sense, and that's why me and David reworked that definition, because it's either saying you are the sex that does this, or you are the sex that does this.
This is a new interpretation of things for me, so I really appreciate you bringing it up because, and Solid, please butt in if I am incorrect. It seems like our understanding is that denoting to something would mean that you have at least one sex characteristic that is leaning in that direction. So that would represent in a way or be a symbol of being that sex, even if it's just 1 out of 5, you know? It's still representative of that.
Yeah, give me
to an extent.
give
So
me
like I
one
think
second. Sorry, give me
We
1 second. I
sorry,
gotta
really
get
quickly.
for a
I don't want to
second.
forget. I'm so sorry. Just that I think we agree, but we have different definitions for the word to know. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was saying, give me 1 second because I just gotta mute because I gotta talk to someone. Give me 1 second. I'm not leaving or anything, but I just can't hear anything.
Can we debate on atheism?
I might have to agree with Corrupt, honestly, based on that. I mean, it depends, because I can see both angles now that I
Absolutely
originally agreed with Cole and stuff, but I can also see Corrupt's angle, and I might have to agree with Corrupt on that part of there's not really partial denotation, because if you partially denote, again, you would be that thing by that circumstance, but at the same time, you can say something. But again,
I have a new
partial
question.
denotation could just be like 1 out of 5, so.
What if you partially denote phenotypically to being a male and you partially denote to being a female, aka not passing as a trans person necessarily?
The word
It's
denote
an
has no
example.
inherent
Hudson,
value.
I'm not asking you, bro. I'm not asking
You wanted
I'm
an
sorry,
answer, I'm
this
giving you
isn't
an
this
answer.
isn't I'm not asking you. This is a discussion we were having prior to you coming up. Until you're introduced, please just wait on mute. Thank you. So if you denote both to being male and to being female, what do we do in that case? You know, like,
Yeah, but your issue there is that Corrupt is arguing that you can't denote to both at the same time, because to denote
but
it, you would be of that thing. And
If you have a
obviously
dick, you're a man.
already-
If you have a
okay,
pussy, you're a female.
shush.
Yeah, we're gonna
If
disconnect
you
you for a minute.
okay, I was about to say if you unmute one more time, I'm kicking you, but you just took care of it. Okay, go ahead, Solid.
I was willing to debate that guy for that, but still, even then, I might have to agree with Corrupt in the sense of, because yours would be under the presumption that they are able to denote both, whereas Corrupt is already arguing that you physically can't, 'cause to denote to it, you have to be of it, and you can't be of both sexes at once.
Yeah, so I only have a couple minutes before I have to meet again, and then I'll
Okay,
be
really
back
quick.
afterwards. But real fast,
Like, what if you have a bulge in breasts? Like,
Yeah,
that's
so-
denoting to being both.
no, it's not, because that would be a sign. It would show that, okay, a sign or indication means that that you're showing that you are this thing, right? It's not showing that you could be this thing or that you relate to this thing, but it's that you are this thing. Sorry? Card, Apple Pay. Sorry. But yeah, it's not showing that you are that thing. It's showing that, I mean, it's not showing that you're leaning towards that thing or you relate to that thing. It's showing that you are that thing, right? So to indicate means you are pointing at this thing and saying, hey, this points to being female. This means you're female, right? That is what that means. That is why using denote doesn't really make any sense, because they're basically saying of the sex that points to being that sex. Oh, give me 1 second.
You're good. Also, I don't know if you can listen or not. Either way, it's totally fine. But, like, I have understood where you've been coming from, Mama Corrupt, from the beginning of you being here. And it's just really me picking it apart and trying to understand fully, like, from a base level up. It has sounded to me from the start as though denote in your understanding is a absolute, where in my understanding it is not.
You're thinking of connote. Denote is objectively an absolute, which is why you can't partially denote you either are or not.
So you're saying connotation is what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Okay, give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. See, this is why I ask questions even when I'm annoying, because then I actually understand things, and then I can use more proper language in the future when I'm referring to things. So I really appreciate you entertaining me for the last 5-10 minutes, figuring this out.
Yeah,
Thank
connoting
you.
means you lean towards that thing or could be that thing. Denoting means you are that thing, which is why you can't partially denote. The definition of a denoting doesn't make sense anyways, because denoting in that context means you are that thing. But what it defines that thing if you're already that thing? which is why
Right.
it's a circular definition, which is why we can just paraphrase that denote means having these characteristics that mean you are that sex, which is basically saying the sex characteristics. Each individual thing does not denote to that sex. It's having all of those things that make you that thing.
Okay, so quick question. Would that mean I was technically right with how I was trying to explain that guy's definition didn't make sense due to the no part? Because I was pointing out that it would say you are that thing when...
I think if we had said it doesn't connotate to being that, we would have been correct. Right, Mama?
No, I mean against that
Hold
other
on.
guy prior to...
I need to hear Snake's whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying basically that Ovod denote would be stupid because if you denote that thing, you are that thing. And if you are that thing, then... Because he was on about the gametes thing. If you are that thing, it means you are producing the gametes, but some people don't. And I was basically pointing out that that would be like invalid logic purely based on the fact that not everyone can produce gametes.
No, that would be accurate because the definition of the sex that produce gametes is not defining the sex female by the production of gametes. It's saying that if you either produce gametes or you're included in that class of individuals. But the issue with that definition is that it does not explain how you are part of that class of individuals if you are not producing gametes. All it's saying is you relate in some way to people who are able to do this thing, which makes no sense.
Yeah, so like, for example, like women with Swyer syndrome who don't realize until later in life that they are intersex. So they were raised as women or girls, and they are women. Sorry, I totally forgot where I was going, Mama. We need like a mind connect moment right now. You were saying I was mini you around on TikTok. We need that right now. What was I saying?
What were you saying? Oh, I genuinely didn't hear what you're saying.
No, you're good. So, like, someone with Swyer syndrome who didn't know that they were intersex until later in life, therefore they were assigned female at birth and raised as a girl and developed into a woman. And I was going somewhere with that, but I don't remember where.
I think you're gonna ask if their chromosomes are connote to them being male.
Yes, that.
Yeah, which they could, but connoting doesn't mean they are that thing.
I was about to say connoting is better than denotating. Mm-hmm. And I'm now fully understanding that thanks to y'all tolerating my insufferable ass.
Yeah, it's just a weird definition. That's why when Kinder tried to argue, I had to basically tell him that, yeah, you can't really argue that definition. You have to replace denote and basically be very liberal with it and say that it is intended to mean if you fit these cluster of characteristics that makes you female, because otherwise it just doesn't make any logical sense.
Yeah, just low-key FYI for future reference. We're not the biggest fan of given creator on these panels for specific reasons that I will not get into.
Of who?
But yeah, just for future reference. Sorry about that.
Like, you're talking about the person I just mentioned?
Yep.
I know I don't like him, but wait, now I'm curious why you guys don't. Can you like tell me about that?
Okay, so the most I will say here is that I have heard from a couple of other people. Also, Mama, while you're here, Stotsky has a live stream Discord. And I was wondering if you were in it, but you're not, but you're welcome to be. I don't know if you're on Discord very often, but I'll send you an invite, so.
I think if I remember correctly, you sent me an invite before. I meant to join, but just never did. I'm on Discord, but I'm never like on Discord. If I'm on Discord, I'm typically just in DMs. I don't really do servers very often. But
That's so fair. I'm only actually active in Discord when I want to be, but I do have notifications up for Stoat's live streams so that I get noticed whenever he goes live. Excuse me, sorry. 1 second. Jeez, some heartburn. Okay, anyways. Yeah, like, that's what I use it for. I get the little banners, and I'm like, oh, I'll hop in, or maybe I'll hop in later, if I'm not available. But yeah, that's totally up to you as well, and dependent on how much you are on Discord and want to be on Discord and want to get notifications from Discord. But yeah, I just want to let you know it exists if you would like to join.
Maybe I was with the server for a while until she chose he who shall not be named over us, me and others who are uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'll just say a couple other people from that server and or Stoat's other server, Stoatland, have expressed their experiences with said person, and these are friends of mine that I trust and believe, obviously, of course, and I take it very seriously when they bring these things up, and I'm very protective, personally, of my friends, so, okay, sorry, Stoat, Mr. K? Does that clear it up? But I know of some BS that he has.
Yes, I know who you're talking
about. Okay, good.
He's actively trying to say I'm a misandrist. He tried to break up me and my partner. He tried to throw money at me and my friend to try to get us to forgive him. He's actively tried to leave me out of projects, TRA specific projects. He's consistently misgendered me and my friends, among other things. He's just
nasty. Hearing all of that on top of what I already know makes me just more, I guess, understanding of the behind the scenes of him. Not that I wasn't understanding beforehand, but Jesus fucking Christ. His the way he talks to and interacts with literal teenagers as of current definitely has bothered me for as long as I've known about it. It's bothered me. And then, I mean, both of the people I heard from actually were or are teenagers. So, yeah, I guess 2 teenagers that I've heard from. So, definitely gross behavior for sure. And honestly, he's the one who needs therapy. Someone was telling me I need therapy. I got therapy. Don't you worry about my little head. But Mr. K, he really needs therapy. God damn it, that man needs some serious therapy.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm done with him and Alyssa, because Alyssa kind of just defends his actions, saying, but he's getting better. I don't talk to Alyssa anymore. She made her choice multiple times to choose him over me.
Is that his partner or just a friend? Sorry for interjecting.
Alyssa's a friend.
Got it.
I think. But yeah, so you guys know who I am. A lot of the arguments on the TRA side originate from me. That's pretty well known. Including most of Kinder's arguments. So the fact that she would cut me out of things and go to him just to get incorrect information and incorrect talking points is insane. So she objectively drew aside, so it's why I don't talk to Alyssa anymore either.
That makes so much sense. I would not want to be a part of any group that's siding with him or any person that's siding with him at this juncture either. I think that's kind of gross. Not kind of. I definitely know that that's gross.
I know people who just don't care and will stay out of it just so they can platform on his panel because his panel gets views, which is whatever.
Because they want clout. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, but if you like, unless it's just straight up fucking defending him, 100% chose him over literally anyone else. I'm so peeved about like Heike. And she had the gall to say that we're her friends. Like,
Ooh, at this point, honestly, oh dear lords, that's just some next level. Bleh. Boston, are you opposition? Sorry. What was that?
I was saying he's a self-proclaimed misogynist.
Oh, self-proclaimed misogynist. Your call whether or not we let them up. Oh, by the way, y'all, so would you be cool throwing my Cash App up there?
Sometime, yeah.
I don't mind.
Because I may or may not have gotten into a car accident, as stated earlier on this live, earlier this week. And I have a ticket. I won't get points on my license for it, luckily, because of the weather that resulted in said car accident. But I do have to pay a fine. So if you have the funds and still is cool putting it up, let me know. I'll send it to you. Thanks.
Astrid's asking if you're okay in chat. Yeah. They seem to be. I mean, they were fine. The car got like what, a few dings, basically.
Well, yeah. Okay, so I was on the highway, obviously going like, I don't know, maybe 65 miles an hour, 70 maybe max. And then I was in they're called microbursts. If you don't know what those are, they're like, they have a very, very small radius, but they're storms that are like really intense. So when I left my allergist's office, it was snowing again, and visibility was like maybe a quarter of a mile or so. I ended up not seeing when roads were going to be in front of me, losing traction, trying to correct, and losing traction more. So I spun out, hit a barrier, but I hit like the back corner of my car and another corner of my car. For some reason, I've been through 2 severe accidents in this vehicle, and it has survived both of them. And I have survived both of them, and my airbags haven't gone off, which is so fabulous because then I get to keep the vehicle. So yeah, I'm okay. Definitely sore more than today or the day after yesterday, which was 2 days after it happened. But soreness is like about it. I'm in one piece. I got tossed around my car a bit, but other than that, not like actually like tossed into different seats or anything. Seatbelt was on. It locked and everything, but like when you're spinning and hitting a center barrier at the same time, you're definitely getting thrown in different directions within your own seat. I'm okay. Again, very okay. Even have the medication to accommodate myself for the tense muscles that preceded said incident, but I am okay. Thank you for asking, Astrid. I love you. Okay, go ahead, Mom.
I was just gonna say, I'm non-binary. I don't think I'm anything. I'm a non-binary female. And why the fuck did they give you? What was the ticket for?
I don't know. Spinning out on in a microburst. Who knows?
I would assume it's like loss of control of vehicle or something.
Yeah, some shit like that. I'd have to go inside to look at the ticket to know for sure. But I made sure because last time I got into a really accident with another vehicle was 2019 into 2020, sometime in there. I was 18 years old. And I got a ticket as well, but I got no points added to my license because I met with the prosecutor and they were like, pay the fee, but we won't add points because they put in the report that the fire chief almost hit the EMS truck that was there when he was pulling up to the scene. That's how bad the roads were. So I had him add that it was snowing pretty heavily, that there were snow trucks going by literally like immediately after I had spun out in the other lane where they could be at, and those sorts of things on the ticket. So hopefully I can do the same thing as last time and not get added points, but it's still probably, in my estimation, I haven't found out for sure how much it is exactly yet, but it's probably going to be a couple $100.
The fact that you got a ticket in the first place is wild to me. I would have just driven away.
I was too stuck in snow. I actually had to get towed home, but my car still works perfectly fine. It just needed out of the snow, so yeah.
Also, I am a non-binary female. My gender's non-binary, I'm female.
You use they them pronouns or?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Just clarifying for I think I knew that for sure before, but I just want to make extra sure. So yeah.
She, days, okay. I do prefer they them though.
Okay, good to know.
Hello, I am Boston. I'm 18. My pronouns are he, him.
That's sigh. Yeah, so what would you take it, or what would it take for you to agree with us that to support transgender individuals in affirmative care?
So, I believe that affirmative care is like not like necessarily like
Affirmative care?
affirmative care. That's what it says. Gender affirmative care, transgender people in affirmative care.
Okay. I didn't realize it says affirmative care because affirmative care is like. Are you talking about like affirmative action? Well, I didn't realize it said
No.
affirmative care.
No, I mean
I
like
guess it could be more specific in
Surgery.
saying gender affirmative
Surgery.
care. And gender affirming care doesn't just include surgeries. It includes much more than that. So if you're curious about what it includes, you can ask.
I know kind of like the basics of what it includes.
So
Hormone
what do you
replacement
think that
therapy.
is?
Hormone replacement therapy. Not all transgender people, but some transgender people go through the surgeries.
You're really missing the large majority because very few transgender people actually have dysphoria to the extent where they would need medical transition. So that's the minority. So let me finish, Boston. Let me finish speaking. Thank you. So the large majority of transgender people actually don't have gender dysphoria with their physical, like, anatomy. So they may need their pronouns changed. They may need their name changed. They may need their haircut changed. They may need their clothes changed. None of those are medical, and they are all gender-affirming care. And these things are very important to support and affirm within people when they tell you who they are, because it's beneficial to their overall outcomes.
I support it, and like as far as people can do what they want, it doesn't really affect me. However, I don't think people under 21 should be getting gender affirmative care.
Yeah.
Transgender.
So,
What happened?
I don't know. I think they just disconnected. So, do you think everyone under gender 21 should just be forced to be androgynous?
They just got raptured.
sorry about that.
It's fine.
So, yeah, 21 Griff, that is wild. So that's not even like quote unquote adulthood by our understanding of it, at least in America at 18. But do you understand that things like puberty blockers, or Astrid, can you mute? Sorry, there's a lot of background.
I
Thank
muted
you.
Astrid.
So, okay. Now I can hear myself again. Okay. What the hell? Anyways, so these people, some people will not, like, if they are allowed access to puberty blockers at Tanner stage 2 of puberty, and then they have access to gender affirming care in the form of HRT as they are getting off of puberty blockers and growing through their puberty. These people don't need surgeries that we would need if we weren't given that kind of access to HRT earlier on in our lives. So what do you think about the people that have to have surgery because they were not given the opportunity to be on puberty blockers or HRT?
So basically, the whole reason why I believe that nobody like 18 or under should be given, or 21 or under should be given affirmative care like that is because two things: childhood onset gender dysphoria. 97% of cases.
This is misinformation, so just move on to your next point, please.
This is not misinformation. This came from the National Institute of Health.
So let's hear the PMID real quick so that we can at least fact check.
The National Institute of Health says
Do you know what the
97
PMID is? Can you please
Never heard
read
of
us the-
PMID.
Okay, so if you just go to the top of the article, if it's on NIH, it should have something called a PMID up at the top.
Just keep in mind, in medicine and science, if the source is over 10 years old, over 20 years old, it's not considered relevant or accurate medical information.
Thank you for adding that, Mama.
You won't hear from me for a
Mom
bit
is
because I'm looking
best.
this up.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, we have patience. We can wait for you to look things up if you only have one device to do it on, which is my case as well. So I'm not being sarcastic. I genuinely mean that. Take your time. Hey, Astrid.
Hi. I didn't actually mean to join. My phone was just in my pocket, but I can't.
Oopsies.
God damn it. No. It's all good.
I'm curious what y'all consider a credible source. I found one from.
You said NIH. NIH is credible.
Yeah, it more depends on if there's like issues with the study, because like there's plenty of NIH stuff that's like, even on our site, that's like, it has like confounding factors that are just not accounted for, which is like, doesn't mean it's like bad science. It just means that you have to account for them if you want to like actually, and you have to be aware of them if you want to talk about it.
Astrid, did you mean that you wanted to be dropped, or are you cool being up here?
I mean, I'm cool being up here. I kind of wanted to ask this kid something, but.
Oh, absolutely.
Astrid, no offense. I don't think I've met you before. What are your pronouns?
She, her.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't misgender on here.
Honestly,
Thank you.
Are we also talking about child onset gender dysphoria, or are we talking about rapid onset gender dysphoria? Because that's a well-known.
Yeah, his words were child onset, unfortunately.
I mean, gender dysphoria often originates in childhood, so like, what does that even mean?
Right, we'll have to wait for the source that like says that. But anyways, I just wanted to say, getting to know Mama has been, honestly, I don't know, not refreshing, just like hearty in the best way. I don't know how else to describe it, but like also me meeting new people, and then Mama being up here, even if it's only for a few minutes, and getting to meet new people. Like, I don't know, I love it.
Don't you like how, once again, earlier, I was able to explain what you meant and finish your thought for you?
The fact that you've now done that multiple times on your own live and now on Stowe's live is just wild. When you said that I was a mini you, at first I was like, I don't know if I see it yet or not, but now I'm like, damn, This
My,
woman can read my mind. They can read my fucking mind.
oh my god.
Is transgender trend a reliable source?
No, it's not a reliable source. What the fuck? That's literally an anti-trans propaganda source.
I'm sorry. I'm entertained. Hi,
I disagree
Velvet.
with the prompt. I can't
His
see the
answers in
prompt, but I
Genesis
disagree with it.
are valid source.
Is Wikipedia a valid source?
Sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
Velvet, is it too far to the right?
No, it's just a black screen for me.
Velvet's my daughter, by the way.
Hang on. I'm gonna ask a random friendly in the comments. Griff, is the screen black for you?
TikTok lives have been broken for me for a few weeks.
Oh, so you think it's just a you thing already?
Yeah, you know how like
Okay,
for a lot
Birdie,
of
thank
people,
you.
like the For You page has been well broken. I think that's the same for me, but it's only with the lives.
Damn, I'm so sorry, dude. Yeah, it seems like other people are able to see, which is good, but like, I'm really sorry that it's just blank. Just for your sake and for the ease of some of potential blind viewers' sakes as well, I will read off the prompt again. It says, I support transgender people and affirmative care. What would it take for you to agree? Join if you disagree, 18 plus. You disagree, Velvet.
Yeah.
What's the
Velvet-
difference? What's the
Velvet's my
difference between
daughter. They can't disagree. Like, what the fuck?
what's the difference between
Yes, I
rapid
can.
onset gender dysphoria and childhood onset gender
Yeah,
I
so
dysphoria?
disagree,
rapid-
guys.
Well,
Childhood
just
onset
don't-
just means gender dysphoria that developed during childhood, which is most variations of gender dysphoria. Rapid onset is the theory that gender dysphoria with no absolutely no cause or backing can just appear randomly out of nowhere in adult individuals, which
Yeah.
has no basis behind it because the methodology for studies behind it doesn't account for past history. It's basically accounting for gender dysphoria without acknowledging the past history of the individual and assuming that gender dysphoria, people who are diagnosed with gender dysphoria only just developed it as soon as they're diagnosed and it didn't exist previously.
Yeah, it's
That's what that.
the studies that look over RGD have issues with priming, proxy bias, and pathology. I've looked into them. They're quite awful. Like maybe we should ask the the people who are trans if they're suddenly trans or something like that. No, they asked the parents questions and said based off of the parents questions, like come to this conclusion. It's
Yeah.
it's quite
Just for
silly in
context-
science.
Yeah, just for context, I was cisgender most of my life. Then I just suddenly felt like I wanted to be non-binary, so I just was. It was just really random one day. I just felt non-binary.
No, it was
Someone,
bred into you.
Someone mentioned me in the chat. Also, no, I'm not a friendly. I hate trans people.
Velvet,
I
you're my
hate
daughter.
trans people.
If you're gonna hate trans people, you have to hate all minorities.
I hate trans people saying that with the trans character in my profile picture, by the way.
I don't believe in trans characters.
My mom saw no signs, so that means I was not trans until I came out.
It was very sudden. They're not actually trans, guys.
I used to walk around in her shoes and shit. Like, I was not a cis child.
You are being asked to take part in a research study if your child when they were between the ages of 10 and 21 developed a sudden or rapid onset of gender dysphoria. Like, this is like literally like they literally were asking people about like the condition that they were like trying to test. Like, they just presupposed it.
Yeah. I don't believe you're trans unless you pass, though, personally.
Boy.
That's why I don't support trans people. Can you, what's your contention with that argument?
You what?
I don't believe you're trans unless you pass.
So you don't believe that Sophie's trans?
Sophie passes.
No, she doesn't. I'm just gonna say that she does not pass.
It
I'm
would
just
be
saying that as someone who has lived with her since the day I was born, and I've seen her almost every single fucking day of my life. She does not pass as a trans woman. I'm just gonna be honest.
It
you
gets
have
better.
you have innate bias because of that. She passes.
It gets better. Literally, Lippmann recruited from transgender Trent for one of the research, one of the studies.
I think that in my mind, she doesn't pass because, like, you know, I knew who she was before she like transitioned.
That's
But
why I said bias.
To you guys knowing her after she transitioned, you guys will probably see her a lot different than I do.
That's why I said it's bias.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if this is like joking or not, but if it's not, it's kind of not.
Yeah, it's
great.
kind of. I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of. I guess mean is the most polite way I can put.
Yeah, passing is bullshit, and also like, why are we talking about someone who's not here?
I don't think passing is.
Oh.
I think
Sophie might
passing
just
is-
I can talk about her whenever the fuck I want.
I do think passing is important into
Me?
society, but not necessarily passing as a woman. I think that if you can pass as even being trans, that's beneficial. I don't want to say it's like necessary because I don't think it's necessary by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think it's beneficial.
So
Sure, it's
Also,
beneficial, but I don't think it's required for being trans, and
Oh, no,
I
it's
don't
not.
think it's. I don't think it should be like focused on so extensively. That there's
Wait,
a
what was my
negative impact
argument?
on people's lives.
Was I saying it was? Yeah, no, it is necessary. Fuck, I forgot what side I was arguing on for a second.
So,
No, it is necessary.
I'm trying to find the source currently. It came from the National Institute of Health. I read that 97%.
I don't care what you read. It doesn't mean anything unless you have that source.
I read it on the National Institute of Health website.
It doesn't mean
So
anything
give us
if you
the
don't have source.
PMID.
I am trying to. I just cannot find it.
The thing is, I can easily
It's
just say
right.
I read.
Sorry,
I can easily just say that I read a source saying that all trans women are biologically female and should always enter women's spaces because medicine has determined them all to be female and that their brains are perfect. Their brains are valid and they're valid in every way. I can just say it. Just any source that says that. I don't need a BMID because I can't find it. So you just gotta trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, just trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. What was I gonna? I
That's
lost
why-
my train of thought.
Yeah, that's why having that source is really important because it can literally just say, no, I have seen the exact opposite. That rapid onset dysphoria is made up
I love that they don't realize how flawed their logic is until we're like turning it back against them, and then they have to face it.
Yeah, the
But
problem
also,
about even
I
like
think Esther does it. To answer your question earlier, the reason I was talking about Sophie is because she is my older sister. So I'm not just shit talking a random person. She is
So
my
you're
older
shit talking
sister.
to sister.
I don't think it's good to shit talk to family either. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
seems like maybe
It's
not.
not like I was saying anything bad.
Velvet, I didn't hear everything. Can somebody or Velvet or whoever just kind of sum it up for me?
Bad or good
Possibly.
is irrelevant. What you said is extremely rude and extremely hurtful. Not to mention it is extremely biased. So if you don't know that, especially since other people think she does pass, I think it's unnecessarily hurtful and rude to say she doesn't. Especially knowing that you
Yeah.
have the bias to know her brain.
My 2 cents, since this is surrounding passability politics, I fucking hate passability politics for several reasons. one of them being that a lot of even cis people do not pass as the gender that they are. So there are a lot of problems with that. But I definitely think even discussing, sorry, I'll wrap up relatively quickly. I definitely think even discussing these things, whether you think somebody passes or not, which if I'm understanding correctly was discussed, can definitely be hurtful. If you personally don't think somebody passes, it can be truthful, but it can also be hurtful. And realizing that they pass as a trans person versus passing as a cis person is also a nuance that Mama is bringing to this that was new to me when she brought it up. So I love like listening to what they have to say as far as those nuances as well. And that's just my 2 cents. I'll shush for now.
Because everything I say is right.
I wasn't trying to be like, I feel like I did word it wrong. But yeah, I wasn't trying to be mean.
Okay. It's one of those things where there's no good way of wording it, so you just shouldn't say it.
Yeah,
like, if I heard my sister had said that about me, I would probably cry and also punch her in the face.
Yeah, I'm really glad Sophie.
Is all I'm saying.
Unironically.
So fair, Astrid. So fair.
I'm pretty sure I have I haven't said like, oh, you don't pass, but I have like said something along those lines to her face, and she was just like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah, no, she cares.
Yeah, you probably hurt her feelings quite
I know
badly.
Sophie pretty well. That she cares.
My sister told me that my grandma, who is still the one who is still like doesn't have dementia, is still in her right mind, called her for a holiday or a birthday, and it was a birthday last year when she turned 27, and she only uses gender neutral pronouns for her grandchildren, no matter what gender we are. For me, being a non-binary person, that's extremely affirming. For my sister, being a trans-binary woman, that is extremely dysphoric and not at all affirming. And she expressed this to me literally a matter of months ago, you know? So that kind of shows how ignoring things like correct pronouns can be actually very detrimental. And we also have evidence to back this up as well if you're looking for the science behind it. But yeah.
Cole, you're not non-binary.
I'm not non-binary?
No.
Why?
You're non-coal-binary.
I'm non-coal-binary?
Cold-nary. Non-culinary.
Non-culinary.
Oh, yeah,
Like
non-culinary.
cooking? Sorry.
You're non-culinary.
Okay, got it.
Oh, I think there's a person teacup too long and got kicked.
Yeah,
I don't think
you're welcome to.
First, because want to know a secret? It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So chances are, there's like an 80% chance that if I'm pressuring you to find a source that hard, it's because I know it doesn't exist. But that's just because I'm me. And Velvet should know this motto. What is the motto of any room I am in? I just changed the motto. Do you know what that motto becomes?
I don't fucking know. I don't know what you're talking about.
The motto is "Mama's always right."
You would be correct with that one.
I would be correct, but yeah, I know. I am right with that one, yeah. That's the point, because I'm always right.
Yeah.
My dear.
That's why whenever you say something, I'm always like, yeah, I agree. Like, I wouldn't even disagree with you.
No one ever disagrees with me.
But
If
also,
someone
I'm kind of-
disagrees with me, it's because they're wrong.
Yeah, I am also very scared to disagree with you, even if I'm not correct. Because you're very scary.
Right?
I'm scary?
But when we do,
Yes, you are.
genuinely, at least for me, it's about like subjective stuff that I'm chiming in on and kind of giving my 2 cents, or at least trying to understand. Oh, please come on up, back up, Bustin. But anyways, Mama is always right. Like, even if I do not initially understand her perspective, I eventually am able to, and even if I don't completely align with her perspective or their perspective, I do understand their perspective, if that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
definitely based.
So I'm always
Yeah.
right, and even if you think I'm wrong, even if you disagree with my subjective opinion, your subjective differing opinion is objectively wrong.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry I took forever to find
Wait,
my
so
source.
Mama, does that mean that if I say my favorite color is blue and you say nuh-uh, does that mean that you're right?
If you say your favorite color is blue and I say my favorite color is green, we can both be right. But if you say your favorite color is blue and I say no, your favorite color is purple, then now your favorite color is purple.
You would be correct either way because my favorite color is purple.
Yeah, see? See, look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at me fucking dumb!
Yes.
I'm fucking built different! Because I was pretty sure your favorite color is purple anyways. Your name's
Can
literally
someone send me
Baldur.
that clip later? I need to show everyone. That's amazing.
I'm trying to find where it says anything about like children. What?
Wait, where what says anything about children?
The source that was posted.
Are you still looking up things about child onset gender dysphoria?
Yeah, I have. I literally have this up. Like he posted the link in chat, and I have it up.
What's the name of this?
Oh.
It's Another Myth of Persistence by Alex Brine.
It's what is it called?
I just posted it in chat. There's a PCM ID.
When was it published?
2024 September 16th.
Okay, good to know. Really quickly, as we, those of us with other screens can intake this source, thank you, Boston, for giving a source. Even if it comes and bites you in the ass, which I don't know if it will or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. The fact that you gave us a source at all is definitely a step more than most, I'll say.
Now, most people that like, I'm gonna say hate transgender people, because most of them do, are Republicans. I'm personally not a Republican, or Christians, and I'm personally not a Christian. So I tend to look at the facts and do a ton of research, not just listen to my religion or listen to my political party.
Sorry about loud car. Jesus Christ. Can I ask what political party you are, if any?
I'd say I'm center right
Just for
leaning.
context,
Center
just real fast.
in America or in general?
In America.
Okay, good to know.
Just for context, this is not a source. This is a letter to the editor, author of the medical journal, written by a philosopher. This is not a medical source. This is not written by anyone in the medical institution. It's written by a philosopher. Did you guys hear what I said though?
Teacup. Yeah, I did at least. Teacups to go check. I'm sorry. That is one of the funniest.
Alex Rines is a philosopher. He's not a biologist. He's not a doctor. He's not a scientist. He has no say in any medical community.
I'm more wondering about if any of these numbers, if you just go to the citation, like that's actually what you would do here. This is. I don't think you need necessarily a medical. I would actually argue that this is like you don't actually necessarily need a medical thing to like, or you don't have to have experience in the medical field to like basically correlate data like this. But you really just want to just look at the actual citations more. Because that's actually
there's references at the bottom of where he got his information from.
But what was like the whole point? Even like that.
I'm hearing a cat.
You said what?
Yeah. So what is the like end point of like people saying that like people don't end up transitioning, or what was the point that you're trying to make?
Oh, I was saying that people under 21 shouldn't get gender affirmation care.
Because
Why?
Well,
reference
because of
that his-
the
I want to
because-
reference that his sorry, I just want to reference that his first sentence is literally referencing on how he defines transgender is literally referencing an outdated and inaccurate source written by a single author, not the entire AP as a whole, which we have a definition for transgender that is directly contradictory to what he's referencing. So he's already like literally his first fucking sentence is incorrect.
Good to know. Thank you.
Hold on, let me read what his first sentence.
Bro, I'm sorry. I need to take 2 seconds to laugh. We cannot hear you if you are off of the app. You're
Mary.
teacupped and muted if you are not on TikTok when you are speaking.
I don't
So
see
we-
where he says that.
Now we hear you. Okay.
Did you read the abstract, or are you looking at the actual paper?
What'd you say? Sorry.
Are you looking at the abstract, or are you looking at the actual paper?
The actual paper.
So the very first, the introduction says gender dysphoria is.
Is this also published by? Oh, I can't even find that article.
I see that.
I could probably just search it up like that, though.
While we're all looking into things, quick mod break. If you enjoy these conversations, opposition or agreeers, tap the screen, share with your friends, opposition or not. Again, all are welcome. And keep commenting. Just give us your favorite color or
I'm gonna
how you're
drop the
feeling
host
about
follow,
this
too.
live. And all those things will allow us to continue to have these conversations. Thank you.
I don't have any friends to share the live to.
Unfortunate. Now you're banned. No. It just holds a gun to your head. You must share the live. No, I'm kidding.
With who? I'll share it with Mama.
Yeah, a lot of this too is like citing like Zucker and some other people that are just. When I say I mean like they're just not great people.
My
like
favorite
they
color.
like Zucker is known to like basically want he seemingly would be like, yes, let's do conversion therapy if there was like any reason to do it. Like he just really thinks that people shouldn't be trans because like, oh no, they're gonna live horrible lives because society's so hateful, so we should never enforce this. And like it's completely ridiculous that he's like been at the top of this field for a while.
Do you know what the worst thing is? The source he cites for how gender dysphoria is defined doesn't even define gender dysphoria. Doesn't even define what being transgender is by that, like at all. It doesn't even define what being transgender is.
It defines what gender
Mama, why are
dysphoria
teacups
is at the
and
beginning.
What? Oh, never mind. For some reason, you guys were like all teacupped, but like talking as well.
I'm saying the source that he referenced for the definition of gender dysphoria does not define that define what gender dysphoria is. It doesn't even mention gender dysphoria, like at all. So yes, so it's already fallacious when he's referencing when he's quoting things that literally are not said in the article he's quoting.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I guess this is kind of a new Dodge-esque thing going on here where he's trying to use an article to be evidence for his view where it really isn't, but it's a new type of not being for his view, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, so not to mention another source that he cited doesn't exist. So he tried to cite gender dysphoria as a temporary diagnosis. That source just doesn't exist.
Gender dysphoria is a temporary diagnosis. Oh my god.
I can't. I don't know what opinion to have
Not
because
to-
I'm not educated on gender dysphoria that much.
I recommend going through the sources because almost none of them are medical sources. The one that says gender dysphoria is a temporary diagnosis was made by a city journal. It was a newspaper article. So he doesn't reference biology in any of his sources. This is just a fucking stupid letter to the editor. That is like insane.
I also love the green 1987 referencing because like we just know that this is a shitty study that's been used for way too long. Like it is just an awful study.
1987.
Yeah.
He's 87.
Yeah, 1987. Like even I think the DSM-5 still references it, which is just crazy that we're still referencing something from 1987.
The bite of 87.
I bet you in my notes I have let's just search up 1987. Yeah, I have it 4 different times in here. Oh no, is this the book? Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's literally referencing the book that Green published called The Sissy Boy Syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually
what,
you should like really check where you're getting your sources from because this is kind of like laughable.
I thought National Institution of Health was a credible source.
The NIH has credible sources. It is a library of that information.
So like, kind of like Wikipedia.
No, it is not Wikipedia because you
It's
have
more
to
like Google.
So you have to have degrees to be able to post something on NIH, but that doesn't necessarily mean people can't still post malicious things on the NIH. It is a library. So yeah, still have to check whether it was peer reviewed. Because typically they are peer reviewed, but you also have to keep in mind that the NIH doesn't just post things that are peer reviewed. They also post comments to peer reviewed articles by other people with degrees in other fields, like exactly what this study is. So it doesn't matter how accurate this is. It's an opinion piece that is not reviewed and has literally no meaning. And the only reason why it's published is because it's in response to something else.
So, in answer to your earlier question, what would be evidence to us? We're looking for something that is peer-reviewed, ideally repeatable, like methods and procedures with controlled variables. I learned all of this back in like high school. I don't know if you remember like high school science or not in scientific method, but that's definitely something that's definitely something that we're looking for. So opinion pieces that are not written and or reviewed by more than one person is not an example of a credible source to us. Something that is peer reviewed and looked over and possibly even ideally repeated by different scientific studies is the evidence that we're looking for.
Yeah. I have a question. Is SEGM a good source?
I don't know what that is.
It's not about the place it's coming from necessarily as much as it's coming from was the methodology good?
No. It's a society. It's a Society for Evidence-Based Gender Medicine. No, fuck no.
Why not?
Yeah, because they're anti-trans. They're
biased.
Yeah, like they actually have like they basically like conflate autism with being transgender. They I've gone through this before. They are quite awful of an organization. Where is the Yeah, they reference a they make a lot of references to
Mama, we're getting a lot of background noise.
Oh shit, sorry, I'll mute.
It's okay. Thanks.
Yeah, they reference like a citation that says that people who continue on to who actually go on like gender affirming hormones. What is this? There's also
So what's going on?
yeah, but SCGM is just a known anti-trans organization. They are. I actually don't know. Do I have anything in my notes about them?
Basically, they're extremely biased. They post fake articles, they doctor articles, and they ignore actual evidence-based care, like the Utah study and other studies referencing actually the benefits of the care. They're intentionally selectively biased and ignore evidence.
Yeah,
If you
it's
run again.
It falsely has claimed that majority of transgender children desist and argued that gender exploratory theory, also known as conversion therapy, should be the first line of treatment for those under 25. It promoted the unsupported theory of ROGD. Yeah.
Ew, I don't like the username of who's requesting. Ugh.
What is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one.
Yeah, maybe not.
What was it?
It was, can I even say that on live? I think so.
By the way, calling me he, I don't know if the person's still here, but calling me he isn't misgendering me. I'm not binary. If you're gonna call me he, just call me daddy. I'm okay with it.
I love that. Do you prefer daddy over mama, or like dada or dad over mom? I'm trying to figure out how to word this correctly.
What do you think, buddy?
I mean, mama's in your username, but I feel like dad would be appropriate, so
You think dad's more appropriate than mommy?
I don't know. It depends.
I think you're just a sub, honestly.
I'm a switch.
No, you're a sub. You're completely
No?
a sub.
I mean, I would say ask.
Okay, all
y'all
this
don't
background
know.
noise is, I'm be honest, it's giving my autism some issues.
Yeah, and I hate to say, but honestly, mama, most of it is from you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm cleaning. Also, I have some bad news that happened today. So if you guys want to send me money too, though it's not going to help anything.
It's not gonna help anything. Oh.
Your bird died?
Yeah.
Oh no, mama.
I'm sorry.
If again, like if and I recommended potentially like every week we switch out different Venmos, Cash Apps, PayPals, whatever, for different trans people that give their labor generally for free on this app, and say like, hey, during mod breaks, like no sub clocking. Sorry, Griff. I just saw that. And putting up like a different person's information every week, because y'all are generally giving your labor for free, and we all deserve to be compensated. And during mod breaks, I can bring that up as well. So it's just whenever Stowe is cool with starting that. And I vote mama because that's really tragic, honestly. I vote mama to be the first to get their information up.
Yeah, money's not gonna help. I don't deserve anything. I am
Shut
trying to
up!
keep-
You deserve everything good. Okay, sorry, continue.
You deserve balls.
Knowledge is stored
Good thing
in
I have
the
access to
balls.
them.
What?
Who are you asking?
I think I'm gonna end life now. I'm getting a bit of a headache.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's not anybody's
I'm
fault.
gonna,
I
I need
just
to get off and
Drink water.
I'm sorry. Have a good night still. I'm sorry for my background noise. I'm really bad about muting.
It's all good. It's not your fault. It's just my tism going. And that's how my tism sounds in my head. It starts throwing a fit and says, "No, I don't like this. Too many loud noise." Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks everyone.
Astrid, are you
beautiful
playing that or?
Yeah.
Cute, I love. Good work.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us up.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, bye bye.